So.
We're rolling. Your work here?
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
That's why we got a portable one. Portable ones work.
Shut the refrigerator door.
No, this is not the temporary morgue. All right, we will call the Grant County Drainage Board to order August 27, noting all 5 members present. And we will move right into the agenda. Jim, minutes first, I guess. Kenny, you got that copy? What if we?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Motion to approve the minutes as presented, Mr. Gates. Second, Mr. Cox. Any discussions, questions? Editorial changes? Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed no.
Abstain.
1 abstention, 4 to 1 abstention. Sorry, Mary, I had to use my purple ink today.
Very pretty though.
All right. If we can walk through the claims. I like my purple.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
First one's John's Repair Service, $318.50 on Sweetser Improvement in Enoch Lee. There's still $38,753 in the fund, and this is wrapping up the work out there. $6,189.50 for John's Repair Service on Sweetser Improvement. John's Repair, $21,061. $2,161.50 on Sweetser Improvement. And then this is just the riprap to finish up, $134.71 with $38,753 in the fund. Newhouse Excavating, $16,310.30. This is a replacement at the head wall of the Steelman tile. $18,247.48 in the fund. Newhouse Excavating, $69,659.86. This was the same thing, a repair and replacement at the head wall on the Broomfield and Minnick. Their fund had been building up to do this. There's $72,512.27. That claim also took care of the trees and dredged the ditch to the First County Road 600 North.
Must have been major on the Brumfield, made a major $69,000.
No, they put in all new tile. Mary's got a breakdown.
Which one of those is what benefits?
Both of them. He came just here a while back and
Yeah.
requested this money to be spent with Newhouse to Brumfield and Minnick. That was 2,171 feet of 24-inch smooth core. That was $56,000. And it's all bedded in stone, the whole footage. That was another $6,500. And there's a lot of OTs and tie-ins.
They're expensive.
Yeah, and the other one was, and Dave Betnick's have been waiting money to build up on this one. It was 560 feet of 21-inch from the head wall going back to where they got into better tile.
I'm just glad they got the money and got it done.
It's been building for a while.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Questions, comments on those payouts? We still have right at 29,000 left with the Sweetser Improvement Enoch Lee, even after these payments.
Where's the Sweetser meeting? Where's that at? I'm forgetting.
Van Buren.
Van Buren Township,
Okay.
east of Van Buren.
It's the one that's out of place, so to speak.
Yeah, with Sweet.
We always think,
Yeah. I make a motion, we approve the claim.
Mr. Goff,
Second.
second, Mr. Pinkerton. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Abstaining? Carried unanimously. All right. Under old business, Little Crane Pond, Pat just updated me before, I don't know if he told you guys, but they're going to be discussing that at noon at a meeting, so we'll see. We need him to be our advocates today.
Is that the attorneys? The attorneys?
I think it's the board, isn't it?
It's the committee.
Committee? Okay.
Need that done this year.
It'd be nice to get that resolved.
I think
after
it'd be
how
a
many
great thing to get resolved. All right, we have a request on New Routes Run. And Jim, were you going to update us?
Yes, I did run a legal description around there, and it does go south of the ditch, but the city limits does take in the crossing and runs into his yard to the north. And, you know, Mary pointed out that she's been looking at the ARCA funds, and, you know, I did get ahead of myself, and I put that letter into the commissioners that maybe we could spend some money on this, because it is in the city limits, but that was my, I didn't know if you've seen this, Mark. Did I show you this?
I have a copy.
That right there.
Oh, of that, yeah.
Okay.
Covering the rain for 24 and 2025, they still have over 80,000.
How much, Mary?
Over 80. If you want to pass that around, you can.
And we have to commit that by the end of this year. That does that include the 25 spray?
It does.
It does, okay.
Yeah. Does anybody want to pass it around?
So from the highway department side of things, David did checking with the state and with county resources. It has never been dedicated. We have nothing on the state record on that road, nothing on the county record for that road. So it's, at least from the highway side of things, it would be considered a private drive to wherever the city cuts off there.
Well, it's in the city limits and the road's in the city limits, but if they're not taking responsibility.
Where's this at?
This is in Van Buren.
Does he want to do that?
There's one map there.
Is that it?
Yeah. It's just east of town, Pat.
Mary, does this take in next year's?
Spray.
It is. This year we paid out, it was left us 140,000. And then if you take away 59 next
East of
year,
town.
it still is
This
80,000.
is named street, but nobody claims it. Town don't claim it, county don't claim it. And the crossing is getting too skinny. Nobody can cross it hardly but a car.
Rick Sullivan he's got an estimate of 4,500 to build it up, Pat.
Is the crossing, it's necessary because somebody's laying on.
Correct.
The pipe's good.
No other access or egress.
Or was that his? Was that a copy for Pat or?
No,
No,
just
that's
anybody-
Jim's
just
copy.
anybody wants to look at it.
I've actually got the one he
Send
sent.
it back to Mary then.
So Jim, you had highlighted last time around some law from Indiana Code. Can you kind of summarize that for us? What is that about again?
I don't have it in front of me today, but if it's a legally established crossing, the board has the discretion to spend money on it. If there's a maintenance fund, it would come out of the maintenance fund, but there's no maintenance on this one, so it would have to come out of the ARCA fund, or the General Grade Improvement Fund would be the only place for the money to come out of. We did have that 80,000 it's not spoken for, and I don't know what it would get spent on. Okay, that's after both years spraying, because we got 59,000 it's gonna be used for spraying of
Right.
ditches next year.
Right now, we're gonna use 140, and you take away that.
Well, Ward knows I've made enough people mad. I have a question to ask though. If we were to, it seems like we've done this before. Correct me if I'm wrong. Open discussion on this. If we see that there is something that falls in our jurisdiction that needs to get done, it just seems like in the past, we've used general drain improvement and then done a public hearing to raise the money for it. And I think that may be more appropriate enforcing the issue than,
You know, years ago, we tried to put Rude's Run-On Maintenance in the town, and their attorney objected because they didn't want to pay, really, and none of the board members now probably remember this, so then we decided, can we put it on maintenance to the town limits? And they objected to that, because if we do that, then we might bring water, and the town already has a water problem when it rains too hard. Brush and stuff collects at the bridges. So then the chairman of the town board came at one time. Me and Cindy went and got all their storm drain maps and tried to figure out who, and we told them back that, you know, it'll be a home site rate, and the town board needs to decide what home site rate you want to put on the people, so you're at least requesting that from the board. And that's where it stopped.
Yeah.
It was opposition. But the board at that time felt like if there's going to be a home site rate applied, the town needed to have input on what they wanted people to pay. But I did watershed the town, and almost the whole town except the Bull Diamond area and a little bit that goes south through a private tile into Black Creek.
Goes into.
Me and Kenny went and took a tour of the town to see how obstructed you know, there's buildings built right to the edge of the ditch. There's power pump poles on the other side of the ditch. It'll be a nightmare to get in and ever clean it out. But we were waiting on somebody to push it, the ditch tax that would.
Doesn't that water go west?
No, the water's coming from the west. It's running east.
Yeah.
The big Black Creek.
Okay.
Runs right through town.
Yeah, because Mike Gross had a farm out there.
Right, real close to the ditch.
That ditch run along the edge of the road and cut through Van Buren.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
That's been a few years ago, man. You
Yeah,
took a tour.
that's nice creep season or two ago.
But, you know, the board felt like we needed the town board to support it and push it if they're wanting a ditch tax. That's where it stopped.
Is it our responsibility when they want to fight us, or when they flood out? Is it our responsibility?
They've come to us before asking for help when they flooded out, but never did want to pay the tax.
It might have been the jail crew that went out and cleaned out the pipes and stuff, because
Yeah.
I mentioned their town maintenance probably needs to take care of that some too, if they don't want to pay a ditch tax.
So what's our best thoughts here, guys? I mean, yeah, we've got, I would say, two options, well, three. Do nothing, do ARPA funds, or do the hard thing and actually say, we'll do this, and we're having a public hearing to raise a ditch assessment.
Now, you raise the ditch assessment on all the houses in Van Buren that's on this ditch?
Yeah, because they're paying nothing right now. It's a regulated ditch, but it's not being assessed.
I think everybody's paying into Black Creek, but it's a real low maintenance, probably $5 minimum per parcel.
You know, when I
$1 an
was
acre
there,
with a $5 minimum.
they had buildings down on the creek and everything else.
Yeah.
It was a mess.
Yeah. I walked that area.
And
yeah.
if I remember right, there's 2 or 3 bridges in town.
Right,
Yeah,
quite a few. And then we took the tile maintenance, New Rouge Run tile, we took that maintenance fund and we dredged it at the mouth of the open ditch for the tile outlets. And we've kept the tile open with the tile fund, but we haven't went very far, you know.
I'm happy to entertain.
Chances are, if we do it and then try to get a maintenance, they're gonna fight it again.
I would say that's a fair statement.
Until they get flooded out too bad, and then they'll change their mind, but it's like the people in Back Creek, when we did that, they fought it for a while. They said, we don't have any water problems, and we got it
Until
done.
they did.
Yeah,
Argued about 3 years to get that done.
We had some, part of that water that come from the west along that road there and so forth goes through Van Buren, right?
Right.
How much farm ground is in on this? Very much,
Couple thousand acres.
1,000 acres.
Oh, huh?
2 or more.
2
Yeah,
at least.
that'd be a guess, but somewhere around 2,000.
Some of 69 drains into it.
You got little Black
Running
Creek
north
to
and
the
south on
north.
69, it drains.
Does it cross 69?
Yeah.
Through there?
Yeah, right by the old Legion post.
And
Just
then,
northeast of that.
and then the Rood Run tile comes from the west side of 600.
Right.
Yeah, it drains that low
That's the one
spot.
that the county replaced
Yeah,
when they raised the bridge.
Well, I think there's a ditch out, or a bridge out there in the country.
there is.
Probably.
There's 2.
But that would be part of our inventory for the
Yeah.
county highway department.
There's actually 2, and then I-69 crossing, and then one more crossing. And a farm lane. And then you get into the town crossings. There's about 5 in town.
Can we use ARPA money?
We can use it on any water project that helps to alleviate water pressure. At one point, I was hoping we could do something in Southeast Marion with some of it, with their help, but the way they've told us we've got to be in MOU or some type of agreement by the end of this year, there's no way we can get any more for that, but we still have about $80,000 to play with. So technically, we could do that. We just have to agree to it, ask Jim to send it to the commissioners and request that funding out of the 200,000 we have appropriated.
I have a letter prepared for you.
Just change the date.
I just need
We
to.
had to have bids
Well,
on
it
it.
says August 19th.
I thought we already had a bid.
Well, I got a bid of,
4,500.
who was it? Who bid the thing?
Yes,
Rick Sullivan.
Okay.
yes.
And I give them phone numbers, I thought for Mitch Cook and maybe Dave's Excavating or Bragg Excavating too.
I have those, yes.
But they're pretty busy and they didn't get back with you, right?
I didn't know we needed more than one.
Oh, no, I was just asking.
Yeah. We could call and get more if we needed to.
What about this John's Rivera? Would he bid something like that or?
I have no idea. You guys work with him.
He's pretty busy.
Everybody's busy this time of year.
Everybody's gonna be busy.
Well, I stated last meeting what I felt. And I felt bad because, well, we gotta help these people. But there's all kinds of people that, they bought it the way it was, and they want somebody else to pay the bill. And we do this one, we're probably gonna have somebody else, or, well, I got a private crossing I need to prove, or more private crossing, and where do you end?
Until today, we didn't know we owned that property. The survey points that we recognize and that we see were on the north side of that. So we had no idea that we own the crossing. This is new information today. I have a statement of where our points are. I didn't understand it. We were just going by what we could see where the survey markers were. So we didn't realize.
Right, and Cindy dug this deed up, and it's not that old, it's Robert Wimmer done it. And then when I read it, I had that one paper that traces all the way around, and you're welcome to have this paper. So the road and the property is still in the city limits. That would be one advantage. If we did help them, we're doing something that helps the town too, not just them. But I understand that where it gets you into that east line, 566 feet to the north right-of-way line of an unnamed street platted in Campbell's addition. See, and that takes it to that lane that your neighbors use. So somewhere over there's a stake probably, and that runs, and then the property runs 179 feet parallel, and then that's south of that crossing, and then it angles 30 feet, and then goes 138 feet to your southwest corner. So that's what ties it in. So there should be Don Wimmer's awful good surveyor. There should be another stake over there.
Probably a piece of rebar drove in the ground.
And that's an unplatted, yeah.
The yellow cap on top of it.
Well, we haven't even walked that property, so.
That's an unplatted road. If you'd have a right to walk back there, the neighbor might think you're trespassing, but you wouldn't be because it's never been vacated. It's an unnamed platted road. I'm gonna give you this. This is an extra legal description for you. That's those distances.
Thank you.
And everything came from the recorder's office.
Thinking out loud here. You folks willing to sign kind of a version of a hold harmless that recognizing that you didn't have access and egress except through the help of the drainage board, that you realize you have a private crossing? If we put that into legal terms and that it's your responsibility from this time forward?
We would be willing to do that.
I know that's just
Yeah, because we know emergency services can't get across there.
right.
And we could fix it up today, but in a couple of years, the way Mother Nature's reigns, it's hard on, they always need maintenance.
Thus, it would not be pulled back to us or to the county highway. It is a private crossing.
But I think, I got confidence in Rick Sullivan that
Steel tile through there, concrete tile.
big steel pipe. And it looks in good shape, and there's still a little room to do something on the ends of it.
Is that you?
What?
Kind of an alarm?
Maybe? Yeah, it was.
Pat and I were looking at each other like, what is it?
I had to turn it down.
Somebody between you.
Turn it off. Group email.
I just don't want to set a precedent.
Right.
Then we're gonna get,
No, we can't do that. We
maybe
can't.
I buy a farm and I have to, want the private crossing. I know I have to pay, but if we're gonna do this, well,
Okay.
We need maintenance on the ditch. I mean, I'm a little concerned about putting money into anything on a legal drain without a maintenance fund.
when they don't, the town doesn't want to do it.
Exactly.
No way to recoup it.
But since it's ARPA money,
I don't care where it comes from, it's still taxpayer money.
well, yeah, but it's supposed to be used for taxpayers.
Well, maybe we all get a hunk of it.
I don't need it.
Yeah. And the other thing I'm gonna say, and I've heard this for a long time, buyer beware. If you're bad pig in the poke, you bought it. Maybe I'm old fashioned a little bit.
I got a little version of old fashioned, so. Yeah, I don't want to rub anybody the wrong way, but I'm still kind of leaning that we need to bring out the assessment rolls and say, we've got a problem on this, and you guys are gonna have to start paying for it.
It'd be a good job for Raymond. Next year.
You started on that, right?
Work with town board. Me and Cindy's got the town tied down on a watershed.
Yeah.
We went to their sewer stormwater maintenance guys and got all the maps, drove the town. I've got that part done, and then I was ready for recommendation, how much they wanted to back up the town to pay home site.
Well, like I say, you and I was up there, there's a bunch of bridges up there, and a bunch of people, there's no easement between the creek and the buildings they built.
Between the utilities on one side and the garages and the sheds. It's gonna have to take a mini excavator to get back into it, ever clean it out. A lot of it's got stone walls on it, you know.
Don't think you're gonna have a $10.
It's gonna be like the, what's the one we just brought up and put a maintenance on the southwest corner of Grant County?
Yeah.
Waters, Pollywalk.
Yeah, those. They're finally, we're gonna get some work done on that. Haven't been done anything for years. And unless they're willing to kick in, I
And the assessment,
I move that we assist these people with repairing this private crossing out of the general improvement fund and try to get maintenance set up, and they sign a hold harmless agreement that from this point forward, it's theirs to maintain.
Mary said she could have that drawn up and they could sign it today.
Is that what we need?
And you want it out of general drain, not ARPA?
No, ARPA won't.
ARPA can't be paid back. If you do it out of the general drain, then that forces us to
Can be
move
paid
toward a
back
public,
someday.
I
a
just want
public
to make sure I
hearing.
understood you right.
And then we can try to get it on maintenance.
Yeah.
And basically, general drain takes the $4,500 hit, but eventually, once we get it, then that can be paid back. That's the way State Board of Accounts wants us to do it. Go in the hole,
And then pay it back.
yeah. So that's what Richard has made as a motion. Does anybody want to second that for discussion?
I'll second that.
We do have a second. Now we can discuss the pros and cons of that motion.
It's gonna make us try to do this maintenance on it, so.
It
What
needs-
needs to be
I'm in
done?
favor of
It needs
pushing for
maintenance.
maintenance on it, you know, and that's gonna help us get there, but we may have a lot of
Opposition.
opposition.
I would
don't know that
anticipate
they can stop
opposition.
it, You know,
Now, I would look for it to be at least $50 a home site. 100 would be out of line.
Nothing less than 50.
Right. So you could be facing that ditch tax someday where you pay every year, you'll pay $50 for your drainage to help maintain the stream, you know.
And we'll have people here.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I
Because, like I say, I know that, I'm just almost sure.
Town board will disapprove it.
There's 3 bridges up there.
Will or won't?
They will disapprove it.
Didn't know they really had a choice.
They can object
could
at
be
the,
against it, but that
they
doesn't mean
object at the public hearing.
What are you gonna do the farm ground?
Well, we got, the board's gonna have to decide a rate.
They can be determined once they come up with.
I
the amount.
know a few farmers out there on the end, Brankel's out on the end. Some of them's wanted it, that's why.
They're on the Rouge Run ditch though.
Are you?
Is it separate from the
you've got
No, it's the same, it's gonna, the open ditch is where the tile
open ditch
goes.
and the tile are all one?
Well, the tile's on maintenance, they already pay.
So see, they're already paying.
Right, but they'll pay double. They're gonna pay on their tile, then they're gonna pay on the open ditch. The people are just on the watershed of the tile.
And then they play on Big Black also.
Yeah. It's $1 an acre with a $5 minimum.
All right, so we've got the motion to move forward with the 4,500, to move to this to a maintenance hearing and to have a hold harmless agreement. Did I miss anything?
Nope.
I got one more question.
Okay.
If they say no, and it comes to legal action, are we gonna spend any money in legal action or just drop it? The last legal action didn't work well.
Let me ask this question, Jim, see if you, isn't there a process or procedure where you can bump up a ditch at so much of a percentage without a public hearing?
25%.
So
If there's a recorded rate.
if there's a recorded rate, so
But since there's no rate,
here's what I
Start that public hearing.
29% of that.
Here's what I would recommend, that we advertise it at what we know we need, and we can always go down to hardly anything and start bumping it up from there. They won't like y'all, but after January, you're not gonna have to worry about me anyway.
And Bremen can get on the assessment roll and start working on that.
I wonder too, would it be a good idea to get someone out there to take a look at the ditch and just give us a desktop estimate on what it's gonna take?
On the
Oh,
ditch, the
my.
whole ditch itself,
The town part's gonna be outrageous.
oh, you
Oh, I
could,
know,
yeah,
but that's my point.
you could easily spend
Just
a hundred
so
thousand.
look at it and see how bad it is.
Someone's going to sink a bunch of money into it, and if we don't have that ammunition, then it's like, well, we're gonna set this assessment, but we don't know what work needs to be done or how much it's gonna cost.
It's gonna take about $100,000 to do the ditch. But I can take a look at it, cause see most of it's all grown up in brush and trees.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, it would
It's
be
got
good
about 2.5 feet of sediment in it.
good background information, because it's been ignored.
I think you're right. We need as much.
But I tried a couple times to organize it in the past and it got shot down by attorneys, or
Well,
the threat of attorneys.
town employees come in there one time.
Right,
Yeah.
and the last we left it, the town board was
Some
gonna
of
talk to
that
their people.
town, they're gonna have to truck out of there.
Yeah, there's nowhere to put spoil and spread it.
But there's some buildings down through there that's got to be moved.
Oh, then you're in lawsuits. How much you wanna spend?
We'll have to work around.
They were grandfathered in.
Might have to see if.
You may
it's
have to put a mini
accessible.
excavator in the bottom.
Dig it
No,
out from the bottom.
no.
No,
You can't put a machine in the bottom of a ditch. It's illegal.
it's illegal?
That's what I was always told. I do not have it in
Well,
writing.
environmental management, yeah, you could be dripping oil and stuff. So maybe you guys with shovels.
Yeah, I get
Huh?
work crew in there with shovels.
Let's go back to our motion now. Any more discussion on the motion itself?
We'll get that started, Pat, a guesstimate,
Yeah, I think we need to know
Yeah.
what we're facing.
and we need to tie down the watershed, so it's just gonna be picking up the records and updating them. It's the file all exists, it's about this thick. It was about that thick before I started.
Any other questions or discussion?
It won't be that hard. I mean, Darren Bates has got a program where you punch in a parcel and it tells you every ditch it's on. So it helps greatly as far as diagnosing.
Let's be entering in the computer, getting that first assessment all together and updated.
You ready to vote? All right, all those in favor of moving forward would say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed no.
No,
Carried 4 to 1 negative vote, so 4 to 1. He voted against, that's all right, that's what we're here for, so. Those who are about to get frustrated, salute you. All right, so we will have a hold harmless document put together. Do confirm that, Mary, with with Kyle, since it's kind of unique in its development. Once we have that, go ahead and get signatures on it then.
Okay, Jim, have your number? You have your number.
Lomax ditch, discussion of rate.
Okay.
Has everybody got your paper?
Thank you.
Yep.
We don't need to make a decision on that today. We just want you guys to, you can take that paper with you and think about it. I've called Wells County. They do a flat rate. I know Brad Rails, it seemed like he said 3 times,
$3.50.
3.5. Okay, I didn't remember the half.
So is there,
And then, you know, Howard County has a hard surface runoff. They've got a big program that does all their, so.
is there credit of any kind given for detention ponds or anything like that?
No.
Not that
We was one that's out there, Oak Hill.
Should there be?
Does that count if the beavers are making a retention pond? Because they're working pretty hard out there.
Still the same amount of water going in.
Beavers get disappeared out there.
Yeah, I'm just throwing that out there for discussion's sake.
You got parking lots and you got roofs.
Mark, if you come up with a hard surface and the commercial structures for this one, does it have to go onto every assessment roll?
I would think so.
No, I wouldn't say. I'm answering, I'm not answering.
It should,
Well-
just asking.
Well, I suppose maybe it wouldn't have to because just like, do home sites have to go on every assessment?
No, they're not. They're not on every
But
one.
I'm willing to bet we might want to apply it to other assessment rules, which then might take another public hearing as time.
Yeah, if we have areas that are being inadequately assessed because of hard service, I think it behooves the board to review it. You know,
Well, just like the one out there on Adams Street towards Gas City with the parking lot. That rate you could apply that rate there.
Well, and Meyer $5 or something.
Yeah, $5 an acre.
So 3.5 would be $17.50 an acre.
Yeah.
And $5 an acre is the same as farm ground.
Yeah, the ground is ground, whether it's by a building or not. Now, if they're a commercial site, they've got 3/4 of their areas asphalt and building, but they still get charged a commercial site, then the leftover acreage would be just ground rate. But then,
Well, there's no difference between the parking lot and the roof.
right, but there's a difference between it and the grass.
Yeah, and they could have a pretty big grass area.
Some of them do, some of them don't.
So would you apply that rate just to the hard surface area?
As best as possible with the tools we have.
Yeah, it's coming up.
So then you're gonna have to go out there and measure parking lots and.
I can do it from the computer.
Well, I gotta explain it.
Close anyhow, I mean, close enough. I do it on the shy side if there's a question, that way we're charging them for less than they have. And try to cover our butts that way.
so will you guys come back with a recommendation on hard surface and stuff for us next time, or?
That's for you guys.
I just kinda wanted you guys to think, I just kinda wanted you to think about it.
Are we raising the other rates?
That's something to think about.
That's what, I mean,
We don't need to make a decision today. I just throwed it out there to start thinking about.
my concern is that we're gonna have to have public hearings. Generally, 1 or 2 show up at the end of the year and want them rushed, and we don't want to be rushed. So, I mean, we need to.
Yeah, if we raise the home sites on the Lomax and that thing, you will have this house full.
Well,
We will be full.
Then that could be next year.
Yeah, that could be next year.
on the top of the
I might
sheet,
come see you then.
I mean, it's not gonna hurt. I mean, as long as they have a hearing someday.
What,
Yeah.
what we're gonna need to know though is, okay, if we go with commercial being 3 times what the farm ground is, what does that look like as far as the fund? I mean, what does that raise the total assessment to?
Well, the top of,
With you guys' input, we wanted to put that together. We wanted to work on that.
Okay.
And produce an assessment roll
And I've got to go, so.
with those reflections on it, Pat, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that produces work for us.
What do you think?
Back and forth.
I think we end up settling at $35 a.
1750 is.
I don't even remember.
That's what it was,
I
Kenny.
could be wrong, but I think it was.
That's what it was.
Road Kill was $35 an acre.
You're right.
Okay.
So you saying that's our precedent?
No, I just said that's what it was.
Okay. Thanks, Pat.
But I think we had 20-some acres, 20 or 22 acres up there.
Of Oak Hill.
Surface?
Of Oak Hill, yeah. And it was like-
Rough and
I wanted to say it was $200 an acre.
going 200,
No, that'd been too much.
yeah.
But anyway, their attorney got that shot down.
Denise come in here and fought for Mike Morris.
Yeah. And she's ready to represent the school too, I think.
Well, the superintendent was gonna go along with us. And he flipped when we got to the hearing.
Yeah.
That was when we were working on the Fadley Owl? Yeah.
Mark. On the top of the low max up there with what's being charged now, it's bringing in close to 13,000.
At $20 a home site.
Yeah. Most of the ditch has been dredged recently. The part behind Arbor Homes has been done, pretty well done. I mean, it's got to be maintained, but depending on what they spend on the dike, how much does it really need to bring in per year? So increasing the rate is going to bring you more money, but you really need more than 12 grand a year.
Well, and if you raise the hard surface,
You're increasing it.
you're increasing it, you're probably gonna bring in 15,000 a year at least.
Right. I just wanted to point out that it's already pulling in at close to 13.
And we could have a hearing and
But
leave
the
the
major
home
work
sites
is
the same.
Yeah.
When we have
just
that
gotta
hearing
have
and raise the other.
And as far as the part back there, maintaining it in the future, have right-of-way spray it. Their license and put that on the bill. It's another regulated ditch, just have them, and maybe have the housing association mow it, but the maintenance spray it, keeps trees down.
Just work out
We
some
could pay
type of
Wendell to
agreement
mow it
with the
too, for that.
association and the drainage board, yeah.
Who owns the property? Meyer owned their property through a leasing company, and then you go on down and you got, what, 2 or 3 stores down there. Is that owned by the leasing company and they lease it to them stores?
It's owned by somebody other than Meyer. I'm not
There's a
sure.
name on the GIS that,
Wisconsin or?
Do they own the whole property?
Seemed like Hobby Lobby owned theirs when I looked at it.
does it,
Some of them own their individual. Myers don't own it all.
No, but who owns the ground that the buildings is on? Who owns the buildings?
Well, Myers
Leases
owns,
them to,
yeah, Myers owns about halfway out into that pond and that hillside. But we could get back with you guys on all that. We'll
I
bring
don't
it
know,
back.
I'm just saying
Yeah, that's a good question.
You're talking about spraying, you got homeowners,
Yeah.
and all they know is you're poisonous.
yeah.
So you get the guy that do it that's got insurance.
But they'll fight you.
Yeah.
When I got houses
Yeah, we'd
behind
be
me.
better off paying somebody to mow it.
Yeah, but
The
yeah,
north section is Meyer Stores Limited. The section below that is University Marketplace LLC.
is that Indiana Westland?
No, that's,
They're out of Indy.
yeah, they're out of Indy, and that's where Hobby Lobby is, that's where Kohl's is, so everything behind it is a part of the association. Everything to the north is Meyer Stores Limited, and that goes all the way back to their holding pond there on the north side. And this is all the association then.
Well, what I was getting at is,
And the city map, it wasn't, the drains wasn't built like the city map showed. I showed you guys once with the red pin where everything was actually put. So I think that west line's the main line.
you got, Texas Roadhouse and some of them,
They'll all be assessed.
They'll all get assessed.
yeah. Yeah, and I didn't know whether somebody owned that property and leased it to those
I could go back in and look on.
buildings or what.
Whoever the owner is, that's who's gonna get notice for the public hearing for the ditch tax.
It's not like a farm.
Stephen Siu. One credit. Regions Bank, so
So they own their own lots.
they own their own lots. Yeah. Okay, so you're just shooting a cannon fire across our bow, saying we're gonna have to make a decision on this, but not today.
Not today. Take that paper home with you.
All right.
We'll think about it.
So we can go to new business now. Mr. Schultz has been very patient.
Yeah.
Luger Creek and tributaries.
Yeah, he has some trees down across the ditch. There's 136,000 in Liver Creek and tributaries. And he's asked Riddle Tree Service to look at this. The stuff would be put on his property and disposed of by Riddle. Here's some, I'll pass these pictures around. Here's some pictures for the board to look at. Bragg's worked back there before, but he's real tied up, and I'm sure that he'll get a good job out of the tree service.
Is there a spray program on this?
We've sprayed that. He's requested we don't spray through there right now anymore. He's gonna take care of it himself.
Can we get that in writing? I've heard that before.
I don't think he's gonna let it grow up.
Well,
Is this around your house? Is this behind your house?
It's west of the house,
What's the house?
west of the house, it's part of the woods, we've got woods on both sides.
Yeah.
This open ditch goes all the way to,
18,
it goes all the way to Jadden.
almost to Blackfoot County line.
Yeah.
Almost to Blackfoot County line.
It's been dredged about 3 times since we've owned the property.
Right. Last time wasn't too long ago.
No, last time wasn't too long ago.
Harry
The
Krebs.
guy that did it before, if you remember right, didn't finish completely. He's from out of town. And he didn't level the dirt off, so we ended up losing a bunch of trees in the woods because the water couldn't get to the drainage ditch, and
Bragg's fixed that.
right, come back and fix that. Yes, they put some tile in. But after this last time it was dredged, whoever the county hired to come through and spray, it looked like a war zone back in there. It looked like it had been sprayed with Agent Orange or something, was everything died, turned brown and died. And now the ditch banks are just eroding away. It's just going right back down into the ditch, and it just keeps washing away back, and the trees that were along the ditch bank are starting to come down and go across the ditch and into the ditch and everything else. It's just
Well, the idea is to get grass to grow, and of course, that's in shaded woods, and that's part of the problem, but the woody vegetation spray is not supposed to kill grass. You know, if it killed all the bushes, then, you know, you've got bare soil to this property. And
Does that go out past Mall Johnson's, where there used to be the meat plant up?
No, he's off of 18,
He's off 18.
before the county line, on the south side of the road.
Just back west from the curve at 18.
Yeah. These actually are his two ponds.
I'm sorry?
A ditch, another ditch crosses right here that's not on the map, Kenny. It goes to Jedden. Right there.
We put the pond in to help alleviate the water problem before, because it's always saturated and stuff. Two ponds in and try to maintain it, keep it clean, but
Whoever drawed that put your two ponds in, but left the ditch off. It's not on that map.
yeah.
So, this estimate he's gonna do it for?
Yes. That was $3,500. That includes.
How much?
$3,500. That includes piling it up at your designated spot and cleaning it all up.
Yeah.
Maybe money well spent.
Our tile starts at Jadden, and then it runs a couple hundred acres too. That's where the open ditch actually starts at and heads his way.
Right. If you remember right, after it was dredged on our side, you went in on the other side of 18 and started fixing that where it went under there through that 30-inch tile or whatever. And that's been dredged to eliminate all the black pressure that was coming up on that.
Right.
And it's helped tremendously, which hadn't been done for years. But all those banks, soil
It's all
banks,
clear now.
they have fallen away.
All that on the north side, 18's clear
I'm
now.
glad we got that.
This originally was a tile,
They burn that stuff in there.
and
Yeah, they're gonna pile it.
yeah, he's got a spot he can burn it where it don't need hauled off. This was originally a tile, and after I became surveyor through Joseph Horner, we designed, it was too cost prohibitive to put a big enough tile to take care of, because you had so much surface water, that we went with the open ditch route to get rid of the water faster. The landowners went to a public hearing.
Well, I move that we allow him to proceed with this project, spending up to $3,500 to clear the trees out of this ditch.
Motion, Mr. Cox.
Second.
Second, Mr. Goff. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor would say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous. So we got that taken care of.
And you go ahead and call them and tell them to start whenever? Okay.
Then, Thias Tile,
Yeah, Mary will be calling him. We need a certificate of insurance on file, so we've got his phone number, so I'll have him take care of that, Mary. What happened to this? Did you take it back already? Yeah, it's got a phone number on there.
Who's the deal, huh?
Riddle's Tree Service.
Tree service.
They took down a huge pine tree for us a few years ago and cleaned it up real good.
Now, the next one, I gotta tell some history about it.
okay, go right ahead.
You ready? Where you see the orange arrows, that's, here, I'm sure with you, Gordon. You got it?
I'm sure here.
Where you see the orange arrows is the old tile. It's $1.47 an acre. I tried to look in the records. It's had to have been on maintenance since the 60s. It's 256 acres. And the gentleman that's here, that it runs between his property, he's not on assessment. That's Rude's Run right in his backyard, the open ditch. So he's never been on an assessment because he really don't benefit because his water sheds off. But this 256 acres comes through there. There's $1,950 in the fund, and Andy Rickner's been out and looked at it, and it's bad completely from the county road all the way to the open ditch. I don't know how many holes there is out there or what, and the landowner's here to talk about that too.
Where's this at?
500 north,
North of the Legion.
right straight north of the Legion.
Oh, okay.
They're out of the picture just a little bit to the south.
Didn't have a
And then
east and west for it.
yeah, and here in a little bit, it crosses 69. 69's like right over here,
Okay, yeah, but good.
over this way. The surface water comes down here and runs down, and where you see the green arrows, there's a surface pipe that dumps right down here close to the road on the corner. But, you know, we just got one estimate and it's rerouted for $9,770 or all new through the yard at $9,190. And there's just not enough acreage in the watershed,
Do they need to look at this?
even if you raise it.
Do you cut the road or what?
Raymond will have to take over because I haven't been working on it.
The highway said they'll replace the pipe under the road.
You talked to the highway maintenance.
Yeah, I talked.
You know what our
So this
size
has
is?
maintenance on it?
No, yes, at $1.47 an acre.
Well, if you take the green marks, you won't have a tile down there, will you?
I'm surprised.
Under the road.
I'm surprised it's it's a 24-inch tile. I'm surprised it's such a big tile for 256 acres.
It's been increased, and I read in the file where up halfway on the ditch, the tile root it's an 18 and a 15 still, which I was surprised it's that big also, but
I guess
that's,
they do have some low areas. You see the shaded areas is where water sets. So that was probably the idea to keep them bowls dry. But I don't have the answer for this one. Sir?
Yeah.
How many places are bad in your yard?
Just one area right now. that I
One
know-
sinkhole?
That I know, there's not even a sinkhole, it's just holding water.
Oh,
And so I brought a picture you guys can pass around.
Get him up here where we heard it.
okay, you don't mind, but you don't mind.
What's up?
You can go with it, but you-
oh, yeah.
I don't know how much.
I hate to ask the question, but.
Is that tree over the tile?
Yeah.
Tile, probably.
The tree is about, from my guessing, it's probably about 5 to 7 feet from the tile.
The trees in the tile.
So when it gets dry weather, them tree roots go right to that tile and usually plug them up.
And I think you guys got this one here.
Yeah.
I was told, because the previous owners were my wife's grandparents, that spot right there actually is from where it collapsed before, and they fixed it themselves.
Okay.
So it's been an issue before.
So if you use that tile there, be prepared to take the tree out.
So that was another thing that Andy had talked to me about. He said that probably because there's 2 trees there, that would probably have to be taken out because it's on the easement. And he would like to reroute where it comes out into the creek. Because it's, right where it's at, it's washed out really bad, and there's a steel pipe that comes out and it's just collapsed.
It's fell off.
So he would like to move it, which includes taking out another couple of trees. So on his estimate, it doesn't even include taking out the trees.
Now, that estimate, did you have that, Mary? We'll pass it around. Or you guys want to read them real quick, pass them on around?
So the estimate to fix it through my yard was $9,190, and that doesn't include the trees being taken out.
There's 2 estimates here.
Ones that go through the field.
See the green line?
One's to reroute it, one's to.
One's to reroute it over. There's a surface pipe and surface water crosses through the side ditch up right on the road.
I think we're gonna have to.
Where they
increase the
cut
main.
through some buildings.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's only drawn less than $400 a year, right?
What's that?
Of course,
There's room to work on the tile
I
still.
don't know where your yard's at 256 acres. Does that include him?
Yeah, the original, that easement was 75 feet from the center of that tile each direction.
I'm assuming that.
But a lot of
this is
times in the past,
actual
nobody knew that
watershed.
existed and
Yeah,
things got
that's
built.
Yes.
At least it's not over it.
He's not on the watershed. I mean.
He's not on the
he's
watershed.
outlet of it, but he's not, it doesn't benefit him other than keeping the water under the ground.
Keeping everybody's water getting through him because he's got the open ditch where his water just naturally sheds off, except for that puddle.
His property would drain into the Rouge Run whether the tile was there or not. So it doesn't,
He'll pay a ditch tax on Rude's Run if that ever gets a public hearing that we just talked about.
He's getting charged to Big Black Creek. But
So is the Matthews part of Rouge Run or not? It's a separate watershed.
separate.
Yeah, it's a current paying watershed,
Looks like
$1.47
we
an
need to
acre.
raise the assessment, get some money built up, I would fix it.
To get that much. There's only about 10 people on it. They'll probably all be in here if you go raising it as much as it
But
needs.
he can't do that, can he?
Well, the board can do it because of the
Necessity.
You can,
He's not in the watershed, so he can't request.
But anytime that it's this bad a situation, the board can make the decision at a public hearing without a
Yeah,
petition.
state law lets us say if there's a water problem that's
Yeah, the watershed's on
affecting
that side
someone
of the road.
downstream, we can
His water gets away.
have jurisdiction over,
The
right?
highway department can request the same
watershed
thing.
don't come clear to the creek.
Watershed don't come clear to the creek. Stops at the road.
So a lot of them will come down to a point where
It's the outlet.
Why would they stop them at the road and not go to the creek?
Because sometime in the past,
Somebody bought it.
they determined he didn't benefit from this. That tile just went through that property for everybody else's
For an
benefit.
outlet.
And he had the open ditch behind him, so he was never been on the assessment roll.
I would guess he may be willing to pay some on the assessment roll if it helps get it resolved, but that's up to Brandon. He probably would rather have it go through the field and stay out of his yard.
Yeah, I'd rather have it redirected because also, just north of 500, there are 3 sinkholes in the field. And where they run their crops, it's all dead right there because of the sinkholes. Because there's water that comes up out of the ground and
It's a James Yarger. You know who farms his ground? I didn't know if it was Roush's or no.
And I'm sure this tile is
Maybe
ancient.
BB.
Really? Okay.
This tile is
She used to
ancient,
farm for
and
yarders.
probably a lot of the other
Okay.
tile is as bad as
Check
what
with
we
her.
discovered.
Natural flow of water stops at 500 north?
It wouldn't come across his yard if it flooded. It'd go back to the west to get, fill that bowl.
You don't have a surface pipe there, do you? Dumping on you? Yeah. The surface pipe is right here, so that surface water comes down and crosses here. Send that back. So if you caught it out here, then
The only thing he's getting is the tile water.
but you still got an old tile that's gonna continue to break down. How do you gotta mash it and deaden it? You gotta do something to stop the deterioration of his property. Still a giant tile.
if it were redirected, I mean, I can take care of that myself. because
Could you?
Then it's my own property.
Huh?
So then it's mine because then I would.
Then the easement don't exist.
Yes.
Yeah, if he was willing to take that on,
So if it does break down in the future, that's my responsibility. If it's redirected and there's no water coming through my property and I don't have an easement anymore.
would be a way to do it.
Plus there's no money.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the next question. That's always the problem.
Because the 2 quotes are only $580 difference, but the 1 quote running through my yard doesn't include taking down all the trees.
If we put in that redirected line, that benefits the 256 acres to the north,
Right.
doesn't affect him. And then would we even need to worry about raising the assessment?
Yes, because there's no money to pay for redoing the line.
Well,
What about ARCA?
that's what I'm thinking too. It's one of those,
That'd be a benefit in everybody in this
it benefits
watershed.
everybody in the watershed.
It's no
And,
fault of his, it's bad.
yeah, that gets him out of the water business on his property, and he's gonna take care of it after we abandon the easement.
But what's it like on farther to the north?
I think it's bad.
Probably. I mean.
We didn't look at the year of this, but it's gotta be
Well,
ancient.
if you come out here, that takes him out of the
We
Yeah.
definitely,
water business, and he can do whatever he wants.
Right.
He wants,
But if we don't raise maintenance, what's this tile look like on up here?
and I don't know the landowner north of the road. He definitely would have to be we'd have to talk to him and he would have to be in agreement. We're gonna,
What farmers you got up there?
I don't know.
Yarger, Plumer,
Who?
Plummer, John Plumer,
Plum, yeah.
and then Gary Inslee, and, George Dedmore, a little bit, but
I
not
believe
much.
Edmore is who I heard that farms the Yarders.
Oh,
I think that's
okay.
what I heard.
Less people should be more interested in getting it fixed the more they own of it.
Gary Inslee's pro drainage, he's a good farmer.
But the amount that you'd have to charge them to cover the $10,000, you're gonna get reactions.
Gentlemen's have their own tiling stuff.
And Denver's been here,
Huh?
haven't they been here before?
Well, yeah, years ago. But might talk to Henshaw and see what he wants to do.
In Sean?
That's the son-in-law that's taken over for Dedmore.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, why don't we table this and
Yeah.
do some talking?
Yep.
For me, it doesn't matter what really happens. Obviously, I prefer.
If you want me to call him and get a hold of you, I'd do that.
Okay, if you would. That way give you a heads up what's going on and.
It makes sense for you.
Yeah, it does, but right now, there's just for me, it's a health hazard because we have West Nile and Wreck County right now, and I have stagnant water standing in my yard, and I have 2 little kids. So for me, that's a big deal.
We'll do a little shaking of the bushes this next couple weeks and have a discussion next meeting. How's that?
How about what's the chances of running a router up through it and at least get it open so it's not standing in water?
Trying to get the root ball or whatever.
To get a
blocking it.
hole, just to get some kind of hole to let the water out of the yard.
Who's gonna do that?
I don't know.
What's
I mean,
that
you got the
cost?
$1,900 in the fund.
Yeah, we do have 1,900.
I know.
Let's try to get him drained.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's possible, feasible, and just a
Probably
thought.
needs to have a camera ran up there first to see if it's collapsed or if it's just roots.
You got $1,900. It's only gonna go so far. I don't know what.
And the cameras don't go too well in collapsed or root tile with roots in them. And the cameras are expensive, but
Guess there's a chance you go downstream from where the water's standing, dig down to the shovel and see if it's open. Make that water go to the tile. Not ideal, but an open hole's better than standing water.
could we authorize Andy Rickner to do that? Try to get the water drained with what's money's in there?
How deep is it? It's like 4 foot deep to the top of it?
Yeah, at the creek, I think is probably right at about 3.5.
Yeah, some more than you wanna dig by hand.
I don't.
Well, right now, if you just came out and dug a test hole to get rid of your water, you know, to keep the kids out of it,
If you guys have authorized the spending of the $1,900
and see what we could do.
as far as getting rid of the water.
Does it still collects, right?
It will after the money gets taken out, down to a 4-year collection.
We topped out, huh?
You know, and building.
$1,900 whole dollars.
Been building interest.
It's been this way from the 60s, apparently. I couldn't find the record back far enough to
Okay.
when this went on maintenance. There's always a new one, Gordon. And you just think you've seen them all.
Yeah, I know.
Any objection to trying to alleviate this water on his property?
With $1,950.
It might be you end up with an open hole until it gets resolved permanent, but. if it-
And you might not even get an open hole, because it may not solve the problem.
And then you got concern too, if you dig down into it and you got the water coming to that hole and you can't get the outlet, then he's got a fountain in his yard.
Bigger problem.
Yeah, without the funds, I didn't know the answer.
How about digging on the north side of the road down to it and if it, see if we can relieve, but then it's gonna run through the side ditch. I don't want to cause you more problems.
Yeah, that side ditch is not deep enough to outlet the tile, man.
If you got 250 acres of water coming to you and it can't get across your property and we dig an open hole where it can come up in your yard, you're gonna have worse mess than you got now. Can you make it go down the side ditch?
No, I mean, that'd be a long stretch. Try to dig.
This side ditch probably needs redug from the highway department, right? They haven't maintained it for a long time.
Yeah.
That'd be something they could redig that side ditch down to their
Then you don't
surface.
want that, because then you can't mow it.
Yeah, but it'd take that water down to the surface pipe that, on the corner there.
I've been managing the water so far, so I mean, if we can just get a plan together to, whether we reroute it or redo a new tile,
Let's
Just
do
leave it
that.
shut.
I can,
Just leave it
Let me
shut.
talk to Henshaw and I'll have him get in touch with you
Yeah.
guys.
Then we bring it back in 2 weeks and we'll see if we can move forward on the reroute.
The next meeting date, when is that, Mary?
Tuesday,
Future reference, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can keep it if you want.
We're looking at September the 10th. We'll
If you don't want that, let me have it.
discuss this some
So
more.
I can give a copy to Henshaw.
Would you?
once you can do it.
11 o'clock again.
11 o'clock. Other business?
I have one thing.
Okay.
I don't know, I don't think Kenny read it, but I just wanted you to read this. This is a letter to the Madison County Drainage Board Chairman. I wanted you to read it and see if you approve of it, or if you want to change. You won't hurt my feelings if you see anything out of line you don't like.
What is it? What is it?
About them
Ask them
waiving
to
their
waive the rights for
Madison
no
County.
fault.
Well, they giving up.
That's per Indiana code, and I'm gonna send a map of our part along with it. And I'm asking for their map and their assessment roll. We have 100% of the open drain, so we don't need to form a joint board if they
I'm
would.
100% with you.
I have 30 days to wait on a response.
Okay.
Then what happens? If we don't have a
Then we can
response?
If we don't have a response, we can proceed with our own board taking care of it.
And we can set the rate and send it to them, no matter.
$10 is what they decided. That's what the group's petitioned.
3,000 acres of that?
That's our acreage.
Just the middle quarter.
And you have no idea what theirs is.
No.
Do we need to authorize you to send a letter, or
I
we
would
just,
if you're okay with it. If you're okay with the letter.
I'm consenting to allow that letter to be sent,
Yeah,
yeah.
me too.
All right, send it registered mail.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
By the way,
Is there a motion?
By
Scott
consent, we're
Rogers
saying yes.
got, ditch in, excuse me. Give me a minute, okay? Oh, okay, I'll be there, okay, bye. Scott Rogers got that tile in half a mile south of Chisholm's Corner, or whatever it is.
Ratliff.
Goes over to the Powell Farm. I'm just saying that he got it in.
Okay, for Dave DeBoer.
Yeah, for David Moore.
Yeah, that's the Ratliff drain, and their money's been building up so Dave could get this done.
Okay. Yeah,
So we'll get a bill by next
probably next
meeting.
week, yeah, or next time. And then Johnson will make a motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second, Mr. Cox, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you for your work today,
Guys,
folks.
I gotta get outside, get warmed up.
Warm up. Man. Just remember, there's a heat warning, so don't stay out too long. They already canceled the soccer games over for Oak Hill, the kids tonight.
Have you went for
I
that?
think this area comes down and goes across the road into the.
I haven't yet. They told me I can go ahead and do it this year, or when I get on Medicare next year, they're gonna make me do it again, so I may have to, I may do it twice, or I may just say wait till January.
Okay.
I wouldn't have done it, Joe.